What's up, world? It's your boy Jumarcy here for How to Rap, and in this video we're gonna give you 8 things that only the wackest of struggle rappers who are trying to get into the industry, trying to make a full-time rap career, do that the successful, profitable artists who are able to make that transition into an independent career stay away from. As somebody who's been coaching rappers from around the world at all skill levels for over half a decade now, everybody from brand new artists all the way to signed artists and producers, I've compiled this list of things to avoid and things that you might find if you're a fan watching this of artists that you consider whack and you wondering why, or if you're an up-and-coming artist yourself and you want to know what you shouldn't be doing so that you improve your chances of having that full-time, professional, enjoyable, profitable career. Now, before we begin the list, 2 things that all successful rappers definitely should do is, number 1, subscribe to this channel with notifications. We drop weekly videos all about how to start rapping, how to improve your songwriting, everything that it takes to become a professional full-time artist from the ground up. And be sure to pick up our free video course, The Top 20 Songwriting Secrets of Full-Time Rappers, to learn 20 different ways you can transition from amateur to professional as a rapper today. You can get that for free by visiting the first link in the video description box below. Now, the first thing that whack rappers do that the best rappers avoid at all costs is they promote but don't progress. They promote, but they don't progress. Whack rappers who struggle to make it in the game almost invariably do promote their music and do try to get attention to what they're doing sonically, but they don't progress in their musical abilities and try to improve on the little subtle things that they need to really sound professional. To use an example, if you have a friend of yours or if you have a rapper that you've collaborated with that secretly you think is kind of whack, I bet you if you were to listen to a song of theirs from a year ago or a couple years ago and then compare it to the song that they're promoting now, even if they're really hard on the marketing and all that, if you compare musically the 2 songs, they're probably pretty much the same. You haven't seen a lot of improvement over a year or 2 as far as their flow, as far as their song structure, as far as their voice experimentation, many of the things that you need in order to become a GOAT level or even just an industry level rapper. Struggle rappers are almost synonymous with, check my new song, I got the new song, I got the new track, but it all sounds the same. They got the same song, and there's no progress even if they're doing a lot on the promotion side. Which brings us to whack rapper trait number 2. They spam and they beg for a listen. Look, spamming somebody's timeline and begging them to listen is like begging for a girl to, give you the draws while you standing out on your knees in the middle of the rain outside of a window. 99% of the time when you do that, her thing is going to dry up faster than chapped lips in a sandstorm in the Mojave Desert. And truth of the matter is, just like that female knows, if you were really an attractive guy or valuable to women, right? If you were an attractive guy to a lot of women, you wouldn't be out there standing in the rain begging for her attention. It's the same way with a music fan. If you weren't a whack rapper, you would already be way too busy with doing shows, with getting your new song perfected because you focus on progressing and stuff like that. You would be too busy to sit there and be in a comment box or in their DM begging them for one listen. Even if you are a successful artist or even if your stuff is dope, just the act of spamming in the wrong way or begging for a listen is subconsciously going to communicate to them that you're either not very confident or you aren't as good as you think you are. Fact of the matter is, the most successful artists already have people promoting for them because once you want to be that person who just discovered this really dope artist, and you're going to tell people, like if somebody you know is dope, you're going to be doing their work for them most of the time. Now, there is a fine line between spamming and promoting, and not everyone knows it. There is a way that you can promote actively without being spammy. So what I'll do is I'll throw in a free book we wrote about releasing your first album on a tight budget, where it'll teach you about how to promote your stuff even if you're just starting. You can visit the video description box below for more on that. Similar to number 2, whack rapper trait number 3 is that they blame their friends and family for not supporting them and why they're not where they think they need to be. Again, similar to number 2, if the whack rapper's music was really that good or they were really that valuable to the industry and they were on the come up, 2 things would happen. Either 1, their friends would support their music and they would be promoting it for them, or number 2, their friends may not like it, but other people would be promoting their music for them. In either scenario, you shouldn't have to guilt trip somebody who's supposedly close to you to get your music popping or get a listen for your song. Think about it. If you had to guilt trip them in order to support your music or have to listen to your song, are they really your friend at all? Additionally, you may be friends with them because of something that has nothing to do with your respective professional careers. I have friends that I go to the gym with and we talk about physical health. I have friends that have the same political or philosophical beliefs as I do, and we're friends because we believe that, and we may not like the same music. We might dislike the same music. I have friends that I go out and party with and chase girls with, but the point is, if our friendship is only based on you helping to promote my music or vice versa, are we really friends at all? Whack rapper trait number 4 is they don't build a team around them and then just complain that nobody wants to help. Another way to avoid having to lean on your friends that we talked about in number 2 is to build a team around you that aren't necessarily your friends. They're professional acquaintances that will help promote your career and get your music out there. Even from the very beginning of your career, you can reach out to people who are passionate about graphic design, photography, mixing, etc., and build your team and build relationships around that, professional relationships. And even if you're in a place that doesn't have a lot of people that are necessarily passionate about that, there are freelancer websites like Upwork.com where people around the world who can freelance for you for pretty affordable to work on those things, to get your album art right, to get even your mixing, remote mixing correct. So there are no excuses when it comes to working with other people. Now, if you are one of those people that's like, yeah, but I don't have a lot of money to hire freelancers and stuff like that, that may be a sign that you really need to go back in the lab and work on your music, which we'll talk about in the next step, right? If your music's not good enough, that there aren't a couple people in your life that are willing to pick up the slack to help your music promotion because they believe in you, it's probably because the music isn't where it needs to be. Again, like we talked about in number 1, you should be focusing on progressing your music to a point that people will want to work for you for free. That's absolutely a sign that you're getting somewhere creative. So in short, you got to make songs that creative people want to help promote. Now, pick up the free course on songwriting we mentioned and make sure that you can click off all 20 rules before reaching out to get to people to work for you for free. Like, make sure that you've got all the things you need for full-time rappers. Make sure you've got all 20 skills. Again, that's in the video description box below. To wrap up this point, the difference between a whack artist and a successful one is successful artists are searching for ways to accomplish their goal, getting their music out there and improving their music, while whack artists are complaining and finding fault with others, whether it's friends or the team that they don't have, rather than progressing. Whack artist trait number 5 is they write inconsistently. They're not writing enough, they're not producing enough music, they're not writing enough to get good. So the first 4 on this list were more regarding promotion and building a team and working with others. The next 4 are gonna be about their quality of music or lack thereof. I can almost guarantee if somebody's considered a whack artist, usually they haven't worked enough or written enough songs or experimented enough, flexed enough, creatively to get good, right? So if somebody's only playing basketball once every couple of weeks, they're not even gonna make the varsity high school basketball team, let alone the NBA. If somebody is going to the gym or only eating healthily once every couple of weeks or once a month, I'm telling you, they're not gonna get jacked, they're not gonna be healthy. So as somebody who coaches artists, I have them fill out a survey before we go into a coaching session, and when they answer, I only write 1 rap a week, I already know they're probably not gonna be good enough to accomplish their goals because they're not doing it consistently enough. Successful artists are hustling and creating 24/7, and if anything, they over-create in the sense that you can think of some of the most successful, hardworking rappers of all time, the Eminems, the Tupacs, the Lil Waynes, the Kanyes. If you notice, their personal life is actually worse off because of it. They're grinding so hard that they don't know how to deal with others properly often or have a successful life because they're working so hard. So you need to be more focused on having your life mostly be writing, mostly be creating, and not just complaining and worrying about your friends as much, tying into the earlier points. And for all the rap fans watching this, think about your friend who supposedly is this rapper and you might secretly, again, think that they're whack. How often do you see them in a studio writing a rhyme, things like that? Like, often they're not writing consistently enough, and that's one hint, even subconsciously, they ain't ready for the big time. Whack rapper trait number 6 is they never study song structure. Even if a whack rapper does write a lot of rap, raps and they don't fall into number 5, often what's happening is they're not studying proper song structure to make it feel like a hit. And your average fan, they may not be able to identify why they don't like the song or why they feel like it drags or it's boring or whatever it is, much like your average sports fan may not be able to identify what plays turn the tide of the game. They need commentators for that, but subconsciously they know this player is better than that player, that team's better than that team. Subconsciously, your average music fan knows, I like this song better than that. Often what it has to do with is proper song structure and formatting and interacting with the instrumental in a very professional song-based manner. Whack rappers do not study that kind of stuff. They just think, well, I felt like the first verse should be 18 bars and the third verse should be longer because it's this story I made up in my head and never played for anybody. Whack rappers don't really study anything, right? But if you're going to be a successful artist, you want to make sure that you know professional song structure. So again, we already have that free course I mentioned a couple times. Visit the video description after this and make sure that you're following those structures. Whack artist trait number 7 is they never really experiment with their voice tone. I said overall not experimenting with their voice tone because often if you're a beginner, it's that you're too monotone, but I've also seen many artists that are just screaming too much or don't have any vocal dynamics, don't know how to use the lyrics that they've written in an interesting and an entertaining way. So there's many ways that you can kind of break the voice tone rules here, but whack artists are always doing the wrong voice at the wrong time, again, because they're not really focused on improving. Now, sometimes a great rap voice can make rather like simplistic bars really entertaining. Like one example I always use is the song That Part by Schoolboy Q featuring Kanye. Now that's one of Kanye's slowest flows. It's kind of funny. It's not lyrically like crazy, but he uses a funny voice tone to accentuate these sort of humorous bars about like Chipotle and stuff, and it becomes an iconic verse within itself. So experimenting with your voice tone overall and being committed to improving your voice tone will help you to avoid being a whack artist. And whack artist trait number 8 is avoiding improving their sound quality. I ended with this one because you can use the same exact analogy to the one we used in number 1. If you listen to that whack rapper or that whack artist or the friend whose music you don't know why you really don't like from 2 years ago, and then you listen to it now, I can almost guarantee they haven't improved their sound quality as well, or the way that they use mixing. In 2020, there are more than enough affordable options for you to have good sound quality, for you to do all the cool mixing things that you want to do. If you want to sound like Travis Scott, there's tons of tutorials on that, or there's tons of freelancers online, or friends of yours who want to learn how to mix, or other rappers who've taught themselves how to mix in your local area. There's really no excuse for you not to have better, improving sound quality as an artist. Now, if you're just starting off and money is a concern, in that free book that we mentioned, we will give you an affordable home studio booklet that'll tell you what to buy that anybody can afford. But no matter what, remember that improving your technology, specifically with sound, because this is music, is absolutely crucial in 2020. Just like your cell phone has to be updated, just like your quality of your YouTube videos and your camera work has to be updated, just like everything that requires technology in the 21st century needs updates and needs to be improved. You need to be improving the technology around the way your voice sounds, your mixing, etc. So those are the 8 things whack artists do that you need to avoid if you want to be successful. In the comments, is there something that we forgot to mention? Like this isn't a full holistic list, but I want to see in the comments, what's one thing that you would add to it, right? What's number 9 that we need to put into this video and future videos? So I appreciate you watching. Be sure to pick up all those free songwriting, music mixing, like all the free stuff that we have in the video description box, and leave us a comment. I really appreciate you watching this. I've been your host, the big homie Drew, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.